Okay, this is an interview at the Division of Military Naval Affairs Headquarters, Latham, New York. It is the 2nd of March, 2003, approximately 9:45 a.m. The interviewers are Mike Russert and Wayne Clark. Could you give me your full name, date of birth, and place of birth, please?
My full name is Edward K. Witherell. I was born in Eagle Bridge, New York on June the 30th, 1922.
Okay, what was your education before you entered military service?
Well, I graduated from the old school in Eagle Bridge. We had about 6 grades, I guess it was. Then I went to Hoosick Falls for 7th and 8th grade and high school.
Okay, so that, when you heard about Pearl Harbor, do you remember where you were and your reaction to that?
I was home in Eagle Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what day it was on, but I think it might have been a Sunday morning.
Yes, it was.
Because I was helping a neighbor of mine had gone away, and when he went away, I always milked his cow for him. So that's where I was.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what your reaction was when you heard about this?
I was just, I can't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Okay.
remember what it was.
Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I was drafted.
Mm-hmm. And so you were assigned to the Army Air Force?
Well, I asked to get assigned to the Air Force.
Why did you want to go in the Air Force?
Well, first I wanted to be a fighter pilot, but my eyes were not good enough, and so I went to radio school and gunnery school for B-24.
All right, when did you enter service?
Oh gosh, it's got it right down
Okay,
there. And November the 27th, 1942,
And where did you go for basic training?
Fort Dix, I think it was. Fort Dix,
So you went, your specialty was radio school and gunnery?
radio and gunnery. Went to radio and gunnery school. Yeah.
Okay. Did you train on any special one gun, or did you move around to the different turrets?
No, it was all 50 caliber machine guns. That's all they had on the plane.
Yes, right. Okay. All right. Do you remember anything about your basic training that you'd like to tell us about?
No,
Nothing special.
nothing special about it.
Okay. When did you join up with your crew?
Oh, gosh. I can't remember that. I think it was in after gunnery school, but I'm not positive.
No, that's okay. Where did you pick up your plane then?
We picked up our plane, and I think it was Topeka, Kansas.
And what kind of plane did you?
B-24.
B-24, okay.
And we flew it overseas.
All right, how did you fly it from where to where?
I think we went through Africa and landed someplace over in Europe, and then we went to our base.
Where was your base?
Lecce, Italy.
Okay, so what Air Force were you with then, the 15th?
15th Air Force,
Okay.
98th Bomb Group.
All right. Now, did you keep the same plane all the time?
No. We got over there with our plane, and all crews fly different planes. So we got there one day, and your first mission, they always split you up. You fly with experienced crew for 1 or 2 missions. And somebody else, the crew that had been there, flew our plane, and they got shot down on the first mission. So we lost our plane immediately. So too young to, didn't last too long.
Now, who named the plane?
Oh, the crew, we named it.
Why did you name it that?
We all, I can't say how we named that.
Now, maybe we could hold this up now and take a look at it. If you hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, but just hold it back towards you more.
Now, this was, your plane was silver rather than the green, or?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the crew. Did you stay with the whole crew the entire time you were in?
Yeah.
Okay.
We lost one guy who was on a training mission. We lost him.
Now, whereabouts are you in that picture?
Oh, I am on the right-hand corner there, right there.
Right on the end.
See it?
Yep.
Okay, that's me.
Okay, do you remember the names of the other fellows, if you want to?
Oh, gosh, I can't
Name them?
remember them all, but I got most of them here. My pilot was Briggs. My co-pilot was Palmer. Navigator was Swanson. And Aldridge, he was a member of the crew. He was the bombardier.
Okay.
Freedy was the engineer, and I was the radio operator and top turret gunner. And Billis was the gunner, and Moore was the gunner, and Cowart was a ball turret gunner. And our Trussman, we lost him on a training mission. That was a Palesti, Romania trip there.
You said you lost them on a training mission.
He was on a training mission with another crew.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
We went on a lot of different places in Europe.
Now, how long was your typical mission for? I mean, was it 6 hours, 8 hours?
8, 9 hours.
Okay.
You said that you had 3 missions to Palesti. Would you describe those? Because I know they're...
I didn't go on the one that was real bad. There was one that was low level, and a lot of the planes got shot down
Yeah.
then. Now, we went over, and there's one right there, which was on August the 17th, 1944. How do I say this? Our engineer kept this, and he gave me a copy of it. And it says on the bottom, hydraulic system shot out, instrument line broke, wheels let down manually with parachutes for flaps. So when we landed, we had to use parachutes to slow up. Yeah. That was one of them. Not the bad one, but the real bad one, where they low level. But this was a bad mission.
You said you used parachutes to slow up.
Yeah.
How did you...
They let them out. The engineer did this. He left them out, I think, out the side windows or doors or
Oh,
something.
I see.
But-
Just pull the ripcord
Yeah.
and they open?
And it held the plane from
I see.
going to the...
Would you have one on each side to do that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said parachutes, plural, for flaps. Here's another one. We bombed Vienna, Austria. I had a lot of them, but I only brought these two. Nose wheel was kicked out. Left pilot's brake, debooster. Left pilot's brake, debooster hit and leaking fluid. And the bombardier was struck.
Now, did you get hit with a lot of flak or?
At different times.
Uh-huh.
We had engine shot out several times.
So you had...
Not shot out of the plane, but
Right.
stopped.
So you had contact with enemy fighters too?
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of those.
What do you think was probably the worst raid that you went on?
Oh, probably the Palesti one of the
Palesti.
Palesti ones.
What were some of the other targets that you hit? I know you said you had 50 missions in all.
50, yeah. Well, Palesti we went 3 times, and here's one we went to Vienna, Austria, and, God, and we went to Yugoslavia, several places there. Here's one that my pilot sent me. We were stationed at Lecce, Italy. And this was dated, I can't remember the date on this thing, but it was recent, a few years ago, maybe 95, November 95. He wrote there's, if you want to read that, or do you want?
Well, we can maybe copy it later.
Okay. He went over there on a business trip, and he came back over our base, Leachy, and he said that we do traffic, they would be flying down, let's see. Sitting in a right side window seat, waited for the Italy to come into view. Sure enough, he could see the entire boot of Italy and our 98th Bomb Group aerodrome of many years ago. And exactly 50 years ago, the day he went over, our bombing mission was to Yugoslavia. So if you want that, you can
Yeah,
make a picture
you
of
make
it.
a copy of it, thank you.
Now, did you guys fly with the heated flight suits?
Yes. Oh, we had to because it was way below zero. We flew way up high most of the time. Some of the times we were lower.
Did you ever have any problem with your flight suit?
No.
You never did?
No.
Okay. Did you use a flak jacket at all?
Yes. You always had to put a flak jacket on.
So you always wore your flak jacket? Okay.
Did you have rations with you aboard the aircraft? Were
We
you
took some things to eat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They didn't freeze up on you?
No.
What kind of gloves did you wear working the radio? Or did you just have the silk gloves on, or did you wear the heavy gloves when you were working your radio? Or the
Well-
guns?
Well, we had heavy for the guns, but when I hooked the radio, I had to take glove off and use that. But we didn't use the radio on a mission. It's on the bomb run, they call it. We didn't use the radio at all.
Now, did your bomber have a bomb sight on it, or did it go off, follow the other planes in?
We had a bomb sight, but I think most of the time, the lead plane did the bomb, using the bomb sight, and then we dropped our bombs at that time.
Now, you said here that one about your greatest experience was running into a hometown friend. Could you
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know, they brought anything about that or not? Military service, Air Force. Yeah, I had something in here about that, but I can tell you about it. I was born in Eagle Bridge, and a kid I knew in Eagle Bridge pretty well. He went in the Air Force.
Who was that? What was his name?
Fairbanks, Doug Fairbanks. And I didn't bring that either, but I got a clipping from the paper where he was missing in action. And he was missing in action, and trying to think of what else. Oh, when I was overseas, we used to go swimming a lot in the Adriatic Sea. They had a big truck, and they took a load of us down to the sea every day to go swimming. Every day we were free. So I was walking up the beach one day. This was after the articles in the paper back home, and I ran into Doug. And I was surprised because I thought he was dead.
How did he get out of Yugoslavia? You said he was shot down
Shot down, and
Yugoslavia.
and his plane crash landed, and he escaped through the underground. People helped him out, and his crew.
Okay, now, how long did it take him to get out?
About 6 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
When you stayed in the service until 1945, did you go back to the United States as an instructor, or?
No, I came back to the United States, and they assigned me to a B-29 crew.
Oh.
Not a crew yet, but we went to school for a B-29 radio operator. So that I joined a crew, a B-29 crew, and we got ready to go overseas to Japan, I can't, I think I might have put this in this. Completed my training and a member.
How did being in a B-29 compare to the B-24?
Oh, I can't say it was good. Wasn't bad.
Now, the crew you were with on the B-29, were any of the guys the same
No,
guy?
all different. They were all different crew.
What happened to the rest of your crew? Were you all split up when you
I mean, on
came
the
back?
B-24?
Yes.
They were all split up. Yeah.
How did you feel when you heard about the death of President Roosevelt?
I think, what year did he die? I can't remember.
He died just before the signing of the peace treaty, 1945.
45. Uh-huh. No, I remember it, and of course I felt bad about it, but nothing I could do about it. I was a radio operator on the B-29.
How did you feel when you heard about the dropping of the atomic bombs on Japan?
Well, that was in August, I think, because we were set to go to the Pacific Theater in August. But when they dropped that bomb, they canceled our trip. We didn't have to go. So they sent us home shortly after
So it
that.
must have been a sense of relief then.
It was, yeah.
Did you join any veterans organizations after you left the service?
American Legion, I joined that.
Have you stayed in the American Legion at all?
Well, I think I'm still in it. I forgot, up until last year I was in it.
Did you stay in contact with any of your crew?
Most of them I did, yeah.
How,
Several of them are dead already.
do you ever go to any reunions or?
No, I never went to reunions.
Do you still stay in contact with anyone?
Yeah, around Christmas time, I usually get a card from some of them.
Okay. Did you ever use the GI Bill when you returned home?
Yeah, I went to Siena College, you know where that is?
Yes.
I went there got my degree and I used my GI Bill. Yeah.
Did you ever use that 5220 club at all?
For a little while, yeah.
Okay. How do you think your time in the service affected your life? Do you think it affected it in any way?
It probably did, but I don't know how it...
You think you would have gone to college if it hadn't have been for the GI Bill?
I don't know, because probably couldn't afford it. But before I went to Siena, and before I went in the service, I went to Troy Business College. Now that school is gone, that's no more. But I went there for a year. Went down on the train every day from Eagle Bridge.
Now, what was your rank when you were in the military?
Tech sergeant.
You were a tech sergeant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your interview.
Okay.